Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Games, and I'm here with another Galaxy of Heroes video. And today I'm going to try to address the 10 most frequently questions I get asked. So let's see how it goes. Number 1. Hey Tiny, I'm having all kinds of trouble. How do I win battles? Alright, so there is a clear strategy for how you want to try to win battles. First of all, you need a lineup that works together, that has some sort of synergy. That's a good start. But even just in the battle itself, there's quite a bit of strategy to use. So for instance, I'm in a galactic war here. I'm looking this over, and I want to first isolate who's the biggest threat in this lineup. I would say the two biggest threats are going to be Darth Sidious and Luminara. But it's also knowing what are my opponent's abilities. So I have to know that Chewbacca is going to taunt. So I can't get this Sidious halfway dead without healing immunity on him, have Chewbacca taunt, and then have Luminara heal him back up. That's just a complete waste. I also have to remember that Talia does a heal. I have to remember I don't really want to attack Fives. Fives is going to go ahead and do counter damage. So I have to know that when I'm looking at Sidious and thinking about whether or not I want to use his area attack. And so this is the primary way that you go about winning these battles, is by thinking the battle through carefully. And in Galactic Wars, you have all day to do this. You can plan out exactly who you're going to be attacking. And knowing what are my abilities, what are my opponent's abilities, and have their cooldowns been used yet? You need to know, has their Luminara healed yet? If she has, you know you have quite a while to go. If she hasn't, you have to be careful. You have to know that Dooku's lightning is especially good against Jedi. So I'm here left with an interesting question of, do I go for Luminara or do I go for Sidious? It all kind of depends on the situation. I think here I'm actually going to go for Sidious to just try to burn him down, because since it's Galactic War, I don't really want him to put healing immunity on any one of my guys. And it worked pretty well anyway. I was able to stun him. Then we're just going to go ahead and pretty much burn him down. Unfortunately, this cooldown is down. And this is something where I had forgotten this, because this is a Galactic War I did a long time ago, and I'm now resuming it. So knowing these cooldowns is absolutely critical. Knowing that I can't hit this guy would be really important knowledge to know. The other thing to know is he could dodge it. So do I really want to use that cooldown on him anyway? Darth Sidious has increased dodge against Jedi. So essentially the bottom line is, how do you win battles? By planning carefully, by knowing your opponent's cooldowns, by knowing their abilities, by keeping track of your own. And if you keep track of all this, you have a good shot. We're going to go ahead and kill him. Boosh! Oh! Oh, it didn't kill him after all. So here's another good example. I'm going to go ahead and try to stun him so that he can't go ahead and taunt up. And it worked. Oh, poor Sidious. He's going to die. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. Hey Tiny, how do you play this game on a PC? Now that is a good question. Basically what I do is I've downloaded BlueStacks, which is an Android emulator. And I've gone ahead and gotten the APK from APK Pure, and it works perfectly for me all the time. Now, I've told people this, and they've said, what? I've tried to use BlueStacks, and it doesn't work at all. So, I don't really know what to tell you. I feel bad for you. Perhaps I have an older version of BlueStacks I haven't updated in a long time that just happens to work better with this particular APK. Unfortunately, the only answer I can give you is that is how I do it. I don't have technical support to help you figure out what's going wrong with yours. Question number 3 I get all the time is, how do allies and ally points work? So essentially, when you have someone as your ally, when you do a battle, say a light side battle, whenever you go ahead and attempt to do a battle, you have the opportunity to borrow one of your allies' characters. I think it's something like every 4 hours this resets. So looking at mine, I have all these great choices. If I had a Jedi lineup, I could use Imagundi. I could use Barriss Offee if I needed more heals. So essentially, having really strong allies early is incredibly useful, because you can push all this content that you might not be able to do. If you have an ally who has a level 60 purple geared Barriss Offee, suddenly all of your middling characters are they're much better. They have all this health. Or maybe you want to have a guy that just basically kills all of your opponent's squad, even though the rest of your guys are dying. Basically, it can work really well. It's also great because you can use your ally points to go into data cards and to buy chromium packs. So being able to use your points to get Chromium packs is a great way to eventually hit good cards, because as we probably all know by now, most of the Chromium packs are not very useful, but every now and then they are, so the more you hit, the better. Closely attached to this is another common question. Hey Tiny, can we be allies? Now, I would love to be allies with all of you, but EA is especially cruel in this game and limits us to 35 allies. Unfortunately, my allies are full on both accounts, so I will not be able to add allies. However, for all of my Patreon supporters, I have told them that they can be an ally. Now, this means I have to kick somebody else, but I just feel so overwhelmed by the generosity of someone who's able and willing to donate any money to me that the least I can do is be their ally. So that's one way to be my ally. Unfortunately, until the number gets increased, that's the only way. When it does, if it does, I'd be happy to be all of your allies. All right. The fourth question I get asked a lot is, hey Tiny, how did you hack your account? And I'd like to do the same to mine. Now, my account is not hacked. I've actually just been playing a lot longer than you have. If you look at my account, it's not that impressive. If this was a hacked account, I don't even have that many of the characters. Missing about half of them. There's a number of really good characters I don't have. I don't have Qui-Gon. I don't have Leia yet. Basically, if you look carefully at my account, what I have is the free-to-play guys that I've been able to grind up. So, on the one side, maybe this is sad for you, but on the other side, this should be a real boon of hope for you, right? That you can look at my account and say, given a couple months, I could have something like this if I grind out on a daily basis. So there is hope for you. I do not know how to hack your account. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you because I don't like that. I think it's bad for the game. I hope the hackers get caught and terrible things happen to them. All right. Question number 5. This might be the most common of all. Hey, Tiny, can you do a Galactic Wars video? And the answer is, of course. I'm actually in the middle of it. I recorded one, in fact, but it just isn't good enough. I realized it's probably going to need to be more of a 3-part video, so I scrapped it. I did post it on my Patreon page, so if you are desperate to see something from me, you can just go ahead and support at the lowest setting and then have access to it that way. But if not, have a little patience. I will have it done soon. Trademarked? Hopefully soon. It's quite a big project, actually. All right, the next question I get asked quite a bit is more of a statement. It goes something like this. Hey, brah, Phasma's a girl. Hello? Yes, I know that. In one of my videos, I said Phasma was a male. Well, I hinted that she was a male character. That was because the movie had just come out, and I wanted the video to be as spoiler-free as possible. I know it's a tiny spoiler. I know if you looked at the casting, you've known for months. But I didn't know. Someone spoiled it for me. I was a little bit annoyed, and so my theory was I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone. So yes, I know Phasma's a girl. The 20th person does not have to tell me, but feel free to tell me anyway if you want. All right. The next question I get asked a lot is, hey, Tiny, is so-and-so a good character? And the answer really is yes. Pretty much any character that is geared out, max level, max stars, is going to be very effective. The only question is this character going to be good in an endgame scenario, pushing for top 10 on your server? These are sort of different questions. So the bottom line for me is if you have a character that you've been working on or that you got in a pack, let's say you got lucky and you got... who do we want to go with? We'll say Ashoka. We'll say you got an Ashoka in a pack, or you've been buffing up Ashoka, and you're not sure if you should continue. If she's already really advanced, just go ahead and max her out. That should be fine. All characters are going to be useful. It's just a question of, are you having the best lineup you could possibly have? And these are different questions. But again, all characters are useful when they're buffed. There's a very rare character that's not good. I get people messaging me all the time and saying like, hey, you have not talked about how good Biggs is. I have a Biggs that is level 60, 7 stars and purple, and it wrecks. It's like, yes, Biggs does wreck at that level. All characters do. So all characters can be good. All right, next question is, what level do you get Darth Vader? And is he good? And again, this is a difficult question. For me, I don't remember exactly when I got Darth Vader. I have an alt account, though. It is level 59. I do not have Darth Vader yet, but I'm pretty close. So I'm guessing it is once you get a little bit into 60. If you are spending money on the game, you're going to get him faster because you're going to be unlocking more characters. The question of is he good? I'm going to say not really, because the problem is you get him so late and he's only 4 stars and he's very hard to get more stars. So if you have a pretty decent lineup like I have, he's not that good. I even put him, I got him up to the purple gear because I really wanted to try him, and he has his moments. He's not terrible, but by the time you get him, you have so many other good characters that I would have to lean towards an answer of not really. I think you're going to be sad when you finally get him, especially if you're like me and you love Darth Vader and want him to just be amazing. The next question I get asked a lot is, how do you find out info about this game? What I would do is just type in into Google Galaxy of Heroes forums, and EA actually has quite a bit of forums set up under their general. Under the very first section, it's going to have announcements, things like that. That's how I find out a lot of my information. There's also a Reddit subreddit for Galaxy of Heroes. So both of those places are great. You can also go, if you want information about characters, you can go to the Galaxy of Heroes Cantina. That's excellent for figuring out, what abilities can this character have. If I put all my mats into this character, is this character going to be good, or is this character still not going to be worth it? All right, and the last question that I get asked a lot is simply, hey, Tiny, you always wear that hat. Are you bald under there? I've got nothing against people that are bald, but I am not. See? I've got a full head of hair. It's real, and it's fantastic. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed this episode of 10 questions I get asked a lot, and I'll see you next time on Tinygrams Games. And if you want to become a Patreon supporter, I've got the link below. It is very much appreciated, but by no means necessary. Thanks so much. See you next time.